What's up, basketball trainers? I got my Mickey on because we're going to Disney pretty soon, and I always respected the brand. I was never a Disney adult until my now wife started working there. But man, anybody who makes 30, $40 billion in a year through entertainment, telling stories, is pretty fire. Nonetheless, I just had a really good conversation with a basketball trainer, and he's a playmaker, he's a playbook user, and we were talking about following up and how to make sure that we keep our spirits high in the fourth quarter. And I had a few thoughts. Like this trainer, he uses the playbook. He has a system where he is following up with people who are interested in his training program. So he's asking them questions. He has all these things automated, so he doesn't have to manually get in there, but he still is getting in there, still is talking to them. And whether it's because the location is too far, whether the lead wasn't qualified, no matter what the reason is, our follow-up should be consistent. Our follow-through should be consistent. We shouldn't be pulling our follow-through off on every single shot and risking the decrease in makes, the lower percentage. So a couple of things that came to mind that we talked about was a few things that will help with increasing the conversion rate of people who are interested, because we may think we need more leads, but what we really do need at times is better conversion. We need to follow through. And one thing that can help with your messaging, if you're trying to figure out what the heck do I say to these parents, what do I say to get them in the door, is paying attention to the signals. The signals meaning, if you talk to a parent and they love talking about their kid needing more confidence, if they talk about an AAU program and their experience, if they talk about certain triggers that make them more excited or animated, then that's something that we can take from our in-person conversation and add it to our actual email and text messaging so that we get that response and we get some more engagement from them. Another thing that we can do is make sure that we have our prospecting pyramid in the right order. So instead of talking to somebody who seems like they're remotely interested or you don't feel like they have as much interest or they're not qualified, let's put them at the bottom of the list. So when we do set that hour of prospecting, which is an action point to go set an hour on your calendar, in Google Calendar, in iCloud, wherever, set an hour or 30 minutes of prospecting time every weekday or 4 days, 3 days, to sit down and talk to those people who are in your CRM and organize them from people who actually are interested in attending a session, who have attended a session, and people who are just coming in as new leads. If you have that pyramid set up or have those different blocks, that will really be helpful so you can make sure you're being the most efficient in reaching out to the people who are the most qualified and the most likely to actually come to a free session or whatever your first low barrier offer is. Uh, I think another thing to mention is seasonality. Like, seasonality is real. You'll get more leads coming in during the summertime than you probably will in the wintertime. And that's not to say that we need to make excuses about the market size being too small, the seasonality not being the best, the distance, the location not being the best. We still need to handle our own business, but those factors are legitimate. Those factors are real. And we had a podcast episode about this not too long ago. It's actually the last podcast episode talking about why we don't have a gym space yet. Uh, Another thing is, a lot of trainers, especially if you're new in this industry, you're a year in, maybe 2 years in, maybe fresh a few months, it's easy to lack confidence and lack patience when it comes to this time of the year, especially if you are starting your basketball training in this area. My encouragement to you guys, which someone gave me encouragement, gave Macias gave me encouragement when talking about retention, and it's helped, it's worked. We're talking to an injury reduction therapist right now and adding those ancillary services to keep people on board and also taking care of those trainers, now those trainees. But hope for an encouragement for those trainers who are new in the space would be to, one, work on those systems, the marketing that you want people to see in the summertime. Basically work backwards for what you want in the summertime. Start working on those things right now, so when it does come around to February, March, you're happy about the time that you spent and worked on those specific sets of skills, those systems, the marketing, the frequently asked questions website, the funnels, or whatever it is that you want to focus on. Think about that right now in February, March, April, May, June, July, and start working on that here. along with, in conjunction with, supplemental to having prospecting blocks where you are calling people who are interested and not leaving them hanging. Because I don't know about you, but I don't think the people I talk to, the trainers I talk to, are big enough to just leave people without having any kind of response. Like if your business is big enough to where you just can't take anybody else, like kudos to you. Let me know what you guys are doing. But I don't know many people who are operating at 100% capacity. And if you are, to me, that means that you aren't charging enough for your services, or economically speaking, you should increase your prices because you are at 100% capacity. I will say increasing the customer service, fine tuning the small things while you weather this storm in the fourth quarter is going to be helpful. I think digging your well before you're thirsty is the most important thing, making sure that we are actually being diligent about what we do right now and work while we wait until the next quarter, which usually is busier. Seasonality for us, it usually peaks during that second quarter. So all I'm saying is pay attention to the signals, set up a prospecting block of time to prospect, have a pyramid where you can focus on the more qualified prospects first, and then go down the pyramid. Pay attention to the seasonalities for next year. So make sure that you see what happens during this time of the year. It helps to have some financials like QuickBooks or something set up to where you can see those charts, the profit and loss and the revenue. And I would say just be confident in your activity right now rather than the numbers that you may see. I went through we're still at a decrease right now, much better than what we were last month. The ads have been working, the prospecting has been working, so we're in a much better place, but it still is less than what it was 5-6 months ago, and that happens. So my suggestion is to double down on having the tackling and the blocking and tackling, the fundamentals, and fine tuning things like your customer service, your systems. So when you get to Q1, Q2, you got everything in order and you've dug your well before you're thirsty. So hopefully that helps you guys. And I will catch you on either the podcast, YouTube, Instagram, I don't know where, but hopefully this helps you guys. And if it does, leave me a basketball emoji and I'll be back in this chat pretty soon. Let's have a conversation about it. Hopefully it helps you guys.